I'm Kim Brazel. I am Director of Graduate and Professional Admissions. I'm at Peabody. Again, thank you all for joining us today for our annual Diversity and Inclusion event. It's great to have you. As I said, we got about 20 minutes. I'm hopeful we'll cover how to build a strong professional application and still have time for questions at the end. The other thing is you can switch between the two breakout rooms. I won't feel lack of love if you leave me and you go learn a little bit about PhD applications. But with that said, let's dig in, and I'm having to run my own slides. So bear with me as I'm looking between two screens. So one thing, I don't know that all of you were in the morning session. So we talk about professional applications. I started as a temp at Vanderbilt, and it took me about a year or so before I figured out what a professional application was. A professional program prepares students for careers in specific fields such as education, law, medicine, counseling, those types of professions. These programs focus on real-world application, and many require internships or projects in their field of study before graduation. And the Peabody programs, the master's and the EDD programs are professional programs. So let's go on and talk about the components of the application. It's online. There is no application fee for the master's or the EDD programs. For the master's programs, 2 letters of recommendation are required. 3 are required for the EDD, and you may submit up to 5 letters of recommendation. Good things that do come out of the pandemic: GRE test scores are still optional for 2023 for the master's and EDD programs. Vanderbilt has not made a call as to whether that will be permanent or not, but they're definitely not requiring them for the 2023 cycle. Of course, we need transcripts, but we try to give you a break. We can use unofficial transcripts for the evaluation process. We know lots of schools charge you for that. Lots of schools charge an application fee. So we do what we can to try and make applying as affordable as possible. But if you are admitted and you choose to enroll, you will need to have official transcripts sent before you'll be able to register. Good news. My colleague in the other room just texted and said he's good to go. So they're sharing screens over there. So thank you for your patience as we kind of got off to a little bumpy start. But the last thing is English language test scores for international students. We do accept TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. I will put a plug for Duolingo. I think it's only $50, so that's real affordable. It is required of all international applicants unless you have received a college degree from a U.S. accredited institution located in the U.S. There are some other situations where that may be waived, but I'm going to direct you to the application checklist just in kind of an effort to save some time. And I will say I am not able to monitor the chat at the same time, and I've got my wonderful graduate assistant, Kelsey Olson, here with me. So thank you, Kelsey, for helping monitor the chat. So we are on to, let's see, I lost my place. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the application process, there's no separate scholarship application. We talked about it several years ago and thought, why are we going to put our prospective students through one more application when all students at this level are interested in scholarships? So all applicants are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships by the admissions committee at the time of application and admission. So let's talk real quickly. I want to give you a quick shot of, oops, I got ahead of myself. There we go. Sorry, I can't do slides and talk at the same time. So there's just a quick listing of our professional programs. I'm certainly not going through all of those, but I do want to say that we are organized within 5 departments. We have human and organizational development, leadership policy and organizations, psychology and human development, special education, and teaching and learning. And this is just a listing of our professional programs. We have 3 EDD programs, 21 master's programs, including a master's in public policy, and 2 of our programs are online, leadership and learning in organizations, which is an EDD program, and leading organizations, which is an MED program. Okay, There we go. That's where I need to be right now. So I want to talk some about the application review process. We do have what's called a priority application deadline of December 31st, but we do have rolling admissions. So we will continue to accept applications after that date. But I do strongly encourage you, if you can, to meet that priority application deadline, because you will increase your chances of merit-based scholarships. The further away you get from that deadline, the fewer scholarships are available. And I also want to point out that it's truly a holistic review process, which means it's really not just about GPAs or test scores. This is just kind of a listing of some of the things faculty members consider in a holistic review of an application. It is certainly not all-encompassing, but it hits the highlights. A holistic review, one of the other things, when I started, I didn't know what a professional program was, and I also wasn't quite sure what a holistic review was. But a holistic review, it's a process that provides careful consideration to every aspect of the application. Such a review seeks to determine if the applicant has not only the academic qualifications for admission, but also the skills and experiences that support degree completion. The thing that I really like about the holistic review process is it ensures that no single factor leads to either accepting or excluding the student from admission. So if you didn't have X GPA, it doesn't mean your application is thrown out. This is an opportunity to recognize that an applicant's strength in one area might help offset weakness in another. Okay, so that brings me to who actually reads your application. One thing that I find really different and am proud of with the Peabody review process, faculty members are the people who read all the applications. They make all the decisions and all the admissions and scholarship decisions. And they really pore over the applications. They want to learn more about you as a student and a person. They will learn about your goals, your dreams, even your struggles. All of that is very important in a holistic review process. So I just want to touch on some of the things that faculty are looking for in this holistic review process. Of course, academic background, we have to put that out there. But again, it's not all about GPAs and test scores, but they do want to try to assess your academic ability. Writing skills, also very, very important. Personal statements, statements of purpose are crucial instruments in determining the writing aptitude of an applicant. Emphasis is placed on not on just what is written, but how well it is written. And we'll talk more about the statement of purpose in a few more minutes and in a few more slides. And writing skills, it helps the admissions committee determine if the applicant is ready for graduate level work. Let's see, next we're going to talk about clearly defined goals. The admissions committees, they already assume an applicant is pursuing a degree to advance their career. What they want to see is someone with a clear vision who can identify how the specific program is going to help them reach their long-term goals. You kind of want to outline how you'd like to make a change in your field, or a project idea you have that would be great to pursue through your program. You also want to be as specific as you can when expressing the ways this program will help you so you in turn can progress the work being done in the field. And we've all heard this, you talk about a good fit. I know this is kind of ambiguous, but it really is a big consideration in an admissions evaluation. Faculty reviewers are looking for applicants whose interests and goals best complement the strengths of the program. They want to make sure that what you want to do is what they're skilled to teach you, and that the program will help you move along reaching your goals. Time management and organization is also very important. They are musts as a graduate student. How you as an applicant can display these skills throughout the application process really does impact the admissions decision. One of the things that breaks my heart is when an applicant calls wondering why they didn't get a decision on their application, and it was because that they didn't check to see if their transcripts or their letters of recommendation were submitted. This is something that you have access to through your application portal. It's really easy to do. If you ever need help doing it, feel free to call us. We're happy to help make sure that you are checking the boxes along the way. But if you are ever uncertain about deadlines or requirements, other steps, we're a pretty chill office. Contact us in admissions. We'll be happy to help you along the way. The other thing, I'm making sure that I'm on track with my slide, ability to follow directions. Admission into graduate school is very competitive. We don't want you to miss out on being admitted on a technicality due to overlooking simple mistakes. You want to make sure that you answer all the questions in an application and include all required documentation. You also want to follow instructions as written and double check your work. And I highly recommend before you submit that application that you look through it at least a couple of times, if not 3 times or 4 times. You also want to be concise and thorough. When answering, you want to answer the questions as asked. That's better than trying to say more than you need to. You just want to be concise and thorough. Intrinsic or deep down motivation. Graduate programs are looking for applicants who are self-motivated and can initiate their own opportunities. Describe your experiences that prove dedication to the discipline. Talk about personal projects you've worked on or initiatives you've taken. Anything that shows your dedication to the things you're passionate about should be included in your resume and or in your application. Relevant experience. Admissions committees are looking for experiences, not necessarily professional work experience, but they're looking for experiences that prove your dedication to your field. Things such as internships, volunteer work, maybe international travel supports your goals of how this program is going to fit with how the program will fit with your goals. Research projects, conference presentations, or job in a related industry, if not the actual industry itself. And I highly recommend, I see applications where people just list, this is what I did and this is what I did. They just list them and leave them is what I call it. They're missing such a great opportunity to expand on more about who they are as a person and the skills that they would bring to the cohort. You want to include concise descriptions of what kind of skills you had to use for the positions that you had and what you learned or how you grew from having the experience. Grad programs also want to know not only that you've got experience, but that you reflect on your experiences for self-development. And the last thing on this slide is unique and individual character. I hear faculty say, we want interesting people, not just smart people in our program. So you really want to highlight your unique and individual character. The statement of purpose and interactions with faculty are the perfect opportunities to reveal who you are and your distinctive qualities, not apparent in test scores or grades. Programs look for exceptional students who express creativity, determination, diversity, and thoughtfulness. Describe what makes you different, determined, and an asset to the program. Committees want to hear about your interesting experiences, perspectives, or skill sets that you contribute to the cohort. Okay, let's go on to another real exciting part of the application, letters of recommendation. As I said, with the holistic review, every aspect of the application is important. Letters of recommendation are very important and provide additional insight into you as a person and your abilities. You want to choose people who know you well. If you've been out of, and I hear this a lot from people who have been out of school for a few years, not still in touch with professors. If that is your situation, it's totally fine. It happens all the time, but it's better to submit letters of recommendation from employers and others who know you well. Admissions committees would rather have a strong recommendation from someone who knows you well than a weak letter from a professor that doesn't really know you anymore or someone with a high profile name or title. And this is something that I learned after my grad school experience, after applying for positions, but I thought it was a brilliant recommendation to actually ask for a strong letter of recommendation. People often feel they can't say no if you request a letter, even if they're kind of neutral towards you, like, yeah, I like Kim, she's great, sure, I'll write a letter of recommendation. But if you specifically ask for a strong letter of recommendation, they'll be more honest about what you can really expect from them. And it's okay if somebody says, I don't know that I can write a really strong one, whether I don't have the time, maybe I don't know you as well as you think I do. There's nothing wrong with that. But asking for a strong letter of recommendation is important. You want recommendations from someone who is genuinely excited about you, your accomplishments, and your future. Ask well in advance, and I would recommend at least 6 weeks in advance. Earlier is better, especially for professors who often have to write many recommendation letters every year. It's fine to follow up with the recommender as the deadline gets closer, but try not to pester. Every week might be a little pestering. You can go into your application portal and see if they submitted it, but it's, when it's 2 3 weeks out, you might want to say, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still here. Other things I recommend, coach your recommenders. Provide a resume. Tell them about the program so they understand it. This will help make it easier for them to highlight your abilities and why you're a fit for the program. Tell them why you are applying and why it's the right program for you. This helps them become excited about your goals and your future. Also offer examples that illustrate your positive traits, such as extracurricular activities, leadership positions, special projects. Okay, let's move on. I'm watching my time. I'm trying to hurry it up so we have some time for questions. On to the statement of purpose. Again, this is a really important part of the application where you need to tell the reader about you as a person, but emphasize what you want to study and what you plan to do with the degree. Tell what you bring to the cohort. It's back to that uniqueness. What is unique about you? And focus on your accomplishments to show that you have a proven track record of success. Don't be cliche or generic. You want to use specific examples. So how can you offer specific colorful detail is things like some application prompts I've seen. Why do you want to go to graduate school? And a very common answer to that question is, I want to go to graduate school to help people. Well, how you can put a spin of being specific and adding some more colorful detail on it, instead of, I want to go to graduate school to help people, you want to talk about who do you want to help and how do you want to help? How is that degree going to help you make a difference, be a change maker in this world? Also, it is completely acceptable and appreciated to address any blemishes on your record. One thing that I see a lot is someone started out in undergrad and they were going to be a doctor. They started out in pre-med and that was not their skill. They ended up getting horrible grades the first 2 semesters. It's hard to recover from something like that. But then they found a program that was a much better match for their skills and their grades improved dramatically. It's totally fine to say, I picked the wrong major when I first started, but look at how things got better along the way. Another one that I've seen is when issues happen in someone's personal life and grades drop, explain the situation, let them know what was happening. Our faculty are amazing. If they can understand what has happened, they show so much grace and mercy. By knowing those unique situations and how it impacted you, it oftentimes makes the difference between being admitted and not being admitted. You also want to tell what sets you apart. And this could be things like, have you had to overcome an exceptional challenge? Did you take more classes than needed just because you were interested in a particular subject? Since we do have a counseling program, one thing I see, they grew up with, their parents were counselors. So their parents were in the field and they grew up surrounded by the language, by the environment. These are all things that, are important to help show how you're different. You don't want to make your statement of purpose. You don't want to turn it into a bragging list of your accomplishments, but you also don't want to be shy about writing what sets you apart. You also want to thoughtfully demonstrate your passion, commitment, and perseverance through your experiences that will leave a positive impression on the admissions committee. And one thing I tell students a lot, or applicants, you want to communicate to the admissions committee why you want to select me, not why I want you to select me. Not why I want to be selected, but why you want to select me. I cannot stress it enough. Please proofread, proofread, proofread. Let me say it one more time. Proofread. It breaks my heart when I see typos and missed words in statements of purpose. I strongly recommend having at least one other person proofread your statement of purpose as well. Okay, I'm getting close to time. I'm going to run through these quick. Okay, so 6 major errors to avoid. Missing deadlines. And even though we have rolling admissions, it's in your favor to submit your application by the priority deadline. Again, you have a much better chance of scholarship funding. And also the admissions committees at that time are meeting regularly, so you'll get a faster decision. The further away you get from that priority application deadline, there aren't as many applications and the admissions committees aren't meeting as often, so also in your favor. Incomplete applications. Things like this, one example I see, not completing the experience or employment sections in the application, and they just say see your resume or CCV. You want to provide enough information in those sections that makes the admissions committee want to dig into your resume a little further and investigate. The other thing I see is not addressing all of the items requested in the statement of purpose prompts. They miss it all the time, and the admissions committee is like they can't even follow directions. Weak and lukewarm recommendations, we've discussed that. Dishonesty, believe it or not, there's 1 or 2 applications every year where it's not hard to compare notes with a letter of recommendation and a statement of purpose and see that the person had not completely honestly represented themselves. Unprofessional writing, I think that goes without saying. Incorrect grammar, spelling, and structure. Again, let me say it one more time. Proofread, please, proofread, please, proofread. Very, very important. Okay, we're almost done. 4 guiding principles. Understand expectations in your field. So do your research about the program. Communicate how this program will help you accomplish your goals. Craft an overall narrative with your application. Tell your story. Tell about your goals and your dreams. Again, you want to show your personality and tell what is unique about you. Remember, we want smart and interesting people. And you also want to demonstrate your interests. So one way to demonstrate your interests, I'm going to put a plug out for an upcoming event that we have. And you will be getting information about it. It's on our Peabody events page. I strongly encourage you to participate in the virtual Peabody Fall Preview. That's a mouthful. Peabody Fall Preview Professional Programs Open House. That is going to, there will be an opportunity for individual program meetings. It's going to be October 20th, 4:30 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. There's going to be some about an hour of general session, and then each one of the professional programs are going to have separate Zoom breakouts where you can talk with the faculty member and talk with current students. That is the perfect way to get in touch with faculty members and shine a little, let them see who you are. And again, talking with current students, talking with faculty. If you can't make that event, we can provide other opportunities for that to happen. Okay, so I hope you found this information helpful. I am sorry to say that we are out of time for questions. I am so sorry for that. But I will say, please email me, write down my email address. I will respond to your questions as quickly as I can, or give us a call in the office. Again, thank you for joining us today. And I'm double checking. Yes, I'm running over. I am so sorry, y'all. Thank you for being here today. Let's go back to the main session for the next session. Thanks, y'all, for being here.